Good morning. Welcome in. Sorry, I was running behind today. I had a little bit of things that I had to get done this morning before I could sit down and paint. So I went ahead and got those done. So instead of 10, well, it's closer to 10:30 this morning. Sorry about that. But that's the way it is sometimes. Welcome in, Martha. Welcome in, little sister Zoe. Making Bloom. So glad you guys are here. Laura, how are you? It's good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. So sorry about the fact that on brighter. Sorry about the fact that I was running behind this morning. I just had some things that I had to get done, so it just took me longer. Thank you for the heart me so much. We are going to be doing, you guys last night suggested several things that you guys wanted to do, so I made a list of them and put them down. So today we are going to be doing the skunk. So if you guys there were several people who said, let's do a skunk, he'll be cute. So we're going to do a skunk to go with this collection of cute little animals that we've been doing lately. We did this little guy last night. Yes, happy Thursday for sure. Closer to the weekend, right? My husband has a show this weekend, so I'm going to go with him to that. I don't usually go, but it's a fundraiser for a friend of ours who's running for district judge, and he's doing a political campaign fundraiser, so we're going to go to that this weekend. It is Making Bloom. My year is going super well so far. Thank you for the popular. I appreciate that. Hi, Golden Girl. How's it going? Good morning. Good morning. I am appreciative of all you guys hopping on. This was last night's tutorial. For those of you who missed it, the replay will be up today. It is currently downloading, but it was late last night when we got, well, I say late. It was late enough last night when we got done that I was ready to call it a night. So I didn't do any downloading. So it's downloading currently. Once it's downloaded, I'll get it uploaded and you'll have this replay available on my Tube of You. And then these two are already currently available on there. So if you missed the tutorial for the giraffe or the bear, then those are already available on my Tube of You channel. Good morning, Rhonda. How are you? All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get our supplies together. Sorry, guys. I'm still kind of not all there just yet this morning, so I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I was running a little behind today, but that was just because I just got behind. We'll just leave it at that. All right, so let's talk about what kind of supplies you're going to need this morning. Rhonda, we are going to do a skunk this morning. Now, he looks a little difficult. I don't know. ChatGPT seems to think that we can paint much better than we can. So, we'll see how he turns out. This might be one of those days where it ends up being a complete hot mess at the end, but I'm going to trust the process like I tell you guys. I wasn't sure I could do this guy, and he turned out great. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to do the skunk this morning, and I will pull him up and show you guys before we get started on what we're going to need to do. But this is the inspiration photo that we're going to use this morning. So it's this cute little skunk. He's got a lot of details, so we will likely do, obviously we'll simplify this a little like we always do, but that is going to be our inspiration. And I'll show that again before we get started, but I wanted you guys to kind of know what we're doing this morning. Okay. All right. So what you're going to need this morning is, obviously you're going to need some watercolor paints. We're going to be using our Meeden set. As always, we will be using the 96 color set, which comes with 30 of your metallics, 12 of your macaroons, 6 of your neons. It also comes with 48 amazing regular colors. They go from lightest to darkest, and that is because it helps you to shade a lot better. You can kind of just work your way up the line when you're shading. So this is a great palette for that. Good morning, Mom. How are you? It also comes with a brush and a pencil. It comes with an eraser and 2 art sponges in this fold-out palette right here. This comes off so you can use it however you need to. I'm going to put mine over here to the side because we will probably use that some when we're mixing our little skunk face today. Just Beth, thank you so much for the heart me. All right, so we're going to need paints. So that's the first thing you're going to need. The second thing that we are going to use this morning, well, actually it's not the second. The first thing we're going to use is going to be our pencils, obviously, because we're going to have to draw this out. So don't panic if you can't draw. I'm going to kind of show you how to do that as best that I can, not being an artist myself, but being someone who's self-taught. So I'm a self-taught artist. But I will show you how to draw it in this set that I use. I love this set. I actually got this set for Christmas, and I have used it nonstop since I got it. Love, love, love it. It comes with your 0.5, 0.7, 0.9, and 3 of your 2.0 leads of these mechanical pencils. You get all of the lead hardnesses that you need. You get the HB, the 2B, you get the 6B, the 2H, and the 4B. So those are all really good. And then additionally, you get colored lead, and you get some erasers. You get 2 erasers here. You get you get 3 erasers. You get a kneaded eraser, and then you get all your refill erasers as well. So, and you get some pencil sharpeners for your 2.0 leads. So if you're looking for a really good drawing, sketching kit, it comes in this little case, so you can just take it with you wherever you go. This is my favorite of all of the pencil sets that I have. I love these mechanical pencils for sketching out your drawings. It makes it so, so much easier. So just know that you have just Beth. Yeah, these are really good. I love them. I love them so much. I don't know if you're talking about the pencils or the paint, but either one, they're both my favorite. This is my favorite palette, and this is my favorite pencil set. But I really do love these pencils. So if you're one who likes to do sketches, you like to draw your day journals, or you like to do your sketches of your watercolors before you paint, these are what I recommend. They're amazing. Got it. Okay, well, these paints are amazing too, so you're going to love them. They're my favorite. I use them every single day and have for over a year and a half almost. So so they're great, and you're going to love them. All right, so that's the other thing that we're going to use. And then we're also going to use the knead brush set. We'll be using the larger ones for the background. We'll be using the smaller ones for the detail work. And then we will also be using some detail brushes that I'll show you in a minute. But this is the 4 brush set from Meeden. It does not disappoint, I promise you. It has this great ferrule on it that's super tight. It doesn't rust. It has a ergonomically correct handle made out of birch wood that helps to reduce hand fatigue because of the way that it's designed. But it's also really short, so you can control your strokes really easily. And they hold a ton of water because they are synthetic squirrel hairs, so they keep their tips and their shape really well, and they hold a lot of water. Love this brush set. If you're looking for a professional brush set, but you don't want to pay those huge professional prices of like $30, $40 a brush, this set is a great option, because I think you can get it for less than 30 bucks, and you get all 4 brushes, and it is amazing. So this leveled up my art. I cannot tell you how much. It was amazing for me when I started painting with these brushes. Now, I used the brush that came in this set for a long time, and it was fine. But when I switched over to this set, it really leveled my art up a lot. So if you're looking for a professional brush set, this is one I recommend. All right. Now, the last well, not the last, but the second to the last thing that we're going to use today. You know what? I'm going to stop giving you numbers because I forget. We're also using Mead & Paper, but we're going to use the Golden Maple detail brushes, possibly. I don't know if I'll need them or not for this particular drawing, but if we do, we're going to use the Golden Maple. This is the 00. I also have a Golden Maple that is a 0/18, I think. Let me find it. Here it is. This one is the 18/0, and it's even a little bit smaller. And I've got some smaller ones too that I might even pull in on this one today. So the Golden Maple set that I have pinned has a 0, a 1, and a 00 in it. It's a really good set. I also have the other Golden Maple set, but it's sold out right now, and I may have to break it out some of these little ones today. But we'll see. We can just use the 005 micron. Okay, so those are the brushes we use. We're going to be using the Mead & Paper. It's right here. Let me switch that out so you guys know what paper we're going to be using. We're going to use the Mead & Paper. I have cut it down to a artist trading card size. All right, so it's an ACEO size. But just so you know, this paper comes in they have it in all different sizes, but the size that I use is the 5x7. And the reason that I do is because you can cut this into 4 equal sheets of the 2.5 by 3.5 size, and you don't end up with a bunch of waste. It's 0 waste. So you get 4 of these out of 1 sheet of this, no waste, which means that a package of 20 sheets will get you 80 of these artist trading card sizes. So if you like that size, then this is a great option for you, because you can really get your money's worth out of this, because you end up with, being able to do 80 paintings as opposed to just 20 if you're doing the ACEO size, which is what I do. Okay. Perfect. Just 20 if you're doing the ACEO size, which is what I do. Okay. Perfect. Just so excited for you to get those pencils. Okay. You're going to love them. All right. So here is, again, this is the size we're doing, the 2.5 by 3.5 in the Mead & Paper. And we are going to start with, oh, and the last thing, sorry guys, I forgot. We're going to also be using our colored pencils. Let me pull those up so that you know which ones we will be using. These are the colored pencils I use. This is a 72 color set. I have to tell you guys though, and I'm going to say this disclaimer, that as much as I love these pencils a ton, I really would like to have more than 72 colors to choose from. So I am checking. I would like to see if I can find me a set that I love just as much as I love these that are more. I would like to have maybe 100 to 150 if I could, just because I would like my shading to be even stronger from an ombre standpoint when I'm doing when we do our shading around, the neck and mouth and all of those things. I would like to have more options. But I've been using these pencils for over 2 years now, probably 3 years, honestly. And I love them. They are amazing. So I don't know if I will find a set of pencils that have that option for me that I love as much as I love these pencils. But I really would like to have more options as far as colors go. But I mean, 72 is a good amount, so I'm not complaining about that. But when you're doing shading like these and like this, sometimes it's easier if you have, more options of the same color to kind of blend those out. But anyway, that is my disclaimer on the pencils. All right. Okay, so are we ready to get started? You guys give me some thumbs up in the comments to let me know that you have your supplies out and you're ready to go. I'm going to refresh my water here. Make sure I have that. I'm going to switch you guys to the overhead view because I know that's a better view for you guys. So let me move my brushes out of the way so I can do that for y'all and put my tripod up here. Now, when I put you guys into this tripod, You guys let me know if you cannot hear me, if I accidentally cover my microphone. I'm looking to make sure I don't, but just in case. Okay, and you guys tell me, I'm going to go ahead and, does that look close enough for you guys? I know last night y'all wanted it a little closer, so there is, that looks like it's a good view. You guys tell me what you think. Is that good for y'all? I am going to not use the meat and tape today because I want to not have that bleed through. So it's one of the very few Meedum products I do not recommend because it doesn't have, oh, what's wrong with that? Oh, let's see. Because it doesn't have, it bleeds, like the water bleeds up underneath it, and I don't like that. I like my edges to be clean. Sorry guys, I'm having to fix this little section of the paper here. I didn't get all the glue off. Okay. All right, so we are going to tape it off. I tape mine off onto a sheet of wood, and I do that because I want to be able to rotate my paper when I need to. The thing about using tape that you can't see through like I'm doing now is it's hard to get your borders straight. So just know that you might have to pick your tape up a couple of times to get that straight, clean border. There we go. That looks better. All right. So I'm going to use painter's tape as opposed to the meat and tape, just so you guys know. So that is my recommendation as far as the tape goes. You want a good, like, washi tape works too. Washi tape works really well, and if you could get like a clear washi, not a clear, but like a white washi tape or something that's kind of see-through, then that would also be an option for being able to see your borders a little easier and being able to tell kind of if you're on from a standpoint of making them even. See, like this one is not, it's too thin. I need to bring it down some. Because you want it to be, you want your borders to be fairly uniform all the way around, and sometimes that's hard to do when you're using painter's tape. Alexa, play Spotify. All right, so let's try this. Nope. I'm gonna turn this around. It's still too thin. Gotta go up. This is, I really like to be able to see through my tape. That's why I don't like having to use painter's tape, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're all taped up and ready to go. So does that view look good for everybody? If it does, you guys give me a thumbs up in the comments so I know that, or a smiley face or something in the comments to let me know that that view is good for you guys. And we are going to get started drawing our little guy. And, oh, you know what, guys? I want to show y'all the reference photo one more time. So let me take you guys down from here really quickly. And I will show you guys. Sorry. Let me pull y'all back so you guys can see the reference photo of what we're doing and take your screenshots. All right, so here, all right, here is where we are. This is our inspiration photo. Remember, do not have any expectations. Do not expect your painting to look like this. It will not. Mine will also not look like this. Okay, this is inspiration. This is an AI generated image that I said, I showed it my art and my style, and I said, give me a cute skunk to use as a reference to paint. Okay, so this is not someone's artwork that we are copying. But this is an AI generated image that is going to give us an idea of what we want to do this morning. That is it. So I don't want you to expect yours to look like this. And if it doesn't, when you're done, I don't want you to be disappointed. So don't have any expectations. Just know that this is what I'm using for my reference. So go ahead and make your screenshots of this if you want it to have to look at. Screenshot it now. I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Now we are going to move on over to here and we will get started. So let me put y'all back into here. I don't want to cover my microphone up, so just make sure that I'm not doing that. There we go. Okay. All right, now let me move y'all back down to where you can see it a little bit easier. All right, now you guys, hopefully that view is good for y'all, and I will do my best to stay within that so that you guys can see it better. All right. Okay. So when we do our drawing, remember we want to use shapes. So I want you to look at your reference photo. I'm going to be using the HB 0.5 tip for drawing this morning. The great thing about these pens is that they have this little gauge on it right here that shows you like what kind of lead is in your pencil. So if I had a different lead, say I had a 2B lead, I could move it and change it to this 2B and not have to remember what lead was in my pencil. So I have an HB lead in here, and I'm using the 0.5 tip of this pencil. Okay. All right. So also make sure you have an eraser handy, because I promise you at some point we're going to have to erase, because the drawing part of this is really the hardest part, honestly. The rest of it comes pretty easy because it's just layering. So just know that you're going to need an eraser. I'm going to grab my eraser really quickly. Because I'm for sure going to need it quickly. Because I'm for sure going to need it. All right. This is the eraser that I use. Also, there's an eraser that comes in your palette. You can use that one too. Okay. All right. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to start in the center and work our way out. That way we know that we have room at the top and room at the bottom to get him drawn. So let me move my paints out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to work with his hand. I'm going to work with the flower first. Okay. So the little flower has got this little rectangle stem. So we're just going to make that rectangle the size that we want it for the flower. Okay. And then we are going to make our little flower petals. So we're going to bring our petals down. They're like little heart shapes. Okay. So just make your petals heart shaped all the way around. These long little hearts. That's all we're doing, is just creating little long hearts. And as we go, you guys, if you have any questions or comments, just let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. All right, so there's our flower. Now, I know that doesn't look like the flower that's on the picture, but again, it's just for inspiration. We don't need a flower that's on the picture. We can do whatever flower we want. If you guys want to do it the same way as the picture, that's fine. These little erasers on the bottom of these mechanical pencils work well for small areas that you want to erase. So I'm going to erase the center of my flower now so I can make the center. Okay. So I erase that. And now I'm going to make my circle in the middle. Okay. So there is my flower. Okay. Any questions on that from anyone? All right. So now we have the center of our image, and everything from here on out is going to work its way out from this image so that we can make sure that we have room for everything, because he's kind of wide. So we're going to make sure that we have room for him. All right. Honestly, that probably should have been over just a little bit more, to be quite honest, but that's okay. We're going to make do. So I'm going to do the, let's see from here. I'm going to do the hands to start. So his little hands are going to be right here, and they are just, all we're doing is just making little long ovals for his fingers like this. Okay. I really do like this little eraser on the bottom of these pencils because it makes things really easy. Okay, and then just round that hand up like this, and then we're going to bring it up to the flower. And then his arm is going to come kind of down from the flower here, like this. All right, so there is where we're at. You guys see how I did that? And I know that hand looks kind of funky, but don't worry about it. We'll fix it when we do our detail. The drawing doesn't have to be exact. What you want from the drawing is a guide. All right, so don't freak out if your drawing looks weird. Just know from the very get-go that until the very end, they're going to look crazy. All right. It's going to be a hot mess. When we did this little guy, I'm telling you, when we started, he was just a complete hot mess all the way up until we started putting the detail work on him. So don't get discouraged if it's starting to look crazy. All right. That's okay. All right. So now we have his little chest that's going to come if it's starting to look crazy. All right. That's okay. All right. So now we have his little chest that's going to come down right here, about even with the top of the flower. Okay, and it's going to come down like this. And then we're going to have his little hand that's going to come over like this. Right here. Okay, and that's going to come down like that. And then the rest of his body comes down like this and circles around. Okay, so we have the circle of his feet, or of his leg, where his feet go. I'm going to make this longer so he's proportionate. Hang on. Let's just start this whole section over. All right, so we're going to start right where his that's going to come out like that. Okay. Then we're going to have a circle right here. And then we're going to have his foot come out like this. So it's basically part of an oval. And then bring it in here. Okay, and then we have his toes like that. Okay, so now we'll erase this line right here where they connect. Okay, did you guys see how I drew that in a shape? So a circle and an oval are easy to draw, and then you just erase what you don't need. Okay, that's the easiest way to do drawings, is to really think about shaping. Okay, so like his belly right here, honestly, I think his arm needs to come down just a little bit right here. So I'm going to erase this line. And I'm going to bring his arm down like this. Sorry, guys. Again, as you're doing your drawing, you may have to change your proportions a little bit so that it looks the way that it should. This needs to come out this way a little bit more. So that's more of a triangle than a rectangle. So we're going to bring it out a little bit more. And then we're going to bring his hand around like this. Okay. All right. That's better. Okay. Now right here at his belly is a circle. So we're going to do his little circle belly, and it's going to come down right here at his feet. And then here is that same thing we did yesterday. We did the oval right here. And then we're going to do the foot right here. That's going to come out like this. And then we have his little toes. Okay. So there we have his little body. Okay. With his little hands. His arm kind of comes up into his body right there. And we'll fix that because this is going to come out like this. That makes a little bit more sense. I know that looks weird, but it won't when we get everything in there. Okay. Now we need to have his tail. We need to do his tail because his tail is what I'm worried about. I want it to be really, really thick and fluffy. And because we don't have a lot of room over here, we're going to have to bring it up. So it's going to come behind him some. So we're going to make our little tip and we're just going to bring it down and out like that. And then we're going to go up and it's going to come behind his head. So we're going to stop right there for now because we want it to be, we want his head to be in here the correct way. All right. So what we're going to do is right across the flower and the shape of his neck. Okay. We are going to do like a smiley face. Okay. So we're going to just draw this little smiley face just like that. Because that's going to be his little snout area. Kind of like we did on the raccoon. Remember we did the raccoon last night? We did the little smiley face to make his snout. Okay. Now we're going to go and we're going to do that. We're going to do an upside down parentheses right here and right here. And make them connect. Then we're going to go down, up, and down for his little nose. Then we're going to come in, up, and in for his face. And then we're going to have his little eyes are going to be like right here. Here. And here will be where his eyes go. Right here will be his eyes. Okay. And then we're going to draw his little ears. And his little ear here. And now I see that his tail is too short. So I'm going to erase his tail. Should have done that last, but I was worried about getting the size there. So we're going to go all the way. We're going to do the tip of his, or the back of his tail is going to come up like this. In. And then it's going to come out. Okay. So that's our little tail in the back. Okay. Now I know that looks weird because it's just a drawing, but that's okay because we're gonna put our details and stuff in. Go ahead and put his nose in. That's just gonna be like a little rounded triangle right here, and you can do his little mouth here like this. Okay, so there we have it. Now, what I don't like about him is I think he looks too skinny. What do you guys think? I think he needs to be fatter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here this whole section, and I'm going to bring that out more like this. I really think I need to do the whole leg right there, because I want him to be fat. So this is the process though, guys, when you're drawing out your sketch. And like I said, this is the hardest part, is you have to understand that as you're drawing, there's going to be times when you're going to have to just erase it and do it again because the proportion doesn't fit right or doesn't feel the way that it needs to feel. Okay, so this is his arm and chest and everything coming down. I'm going to go ahead and put his chest right here. And then now I can see that he needs to have a much fatter belly. So I'm going to bring that out and make that much fatter. Like that. Okay, so that gives me a bigger area to work with. Then his leg, we do that oval again. And then we do the oval for his foot. And we give him his toes, and then we erase what we don't need. Okay, so now he's fatter. That looks much better. Okay. All right, any questions on that so far? I made these marks and didn't need them, so I'm going to erase those. All right, any questions on that so far, guys? Anyone have any questions about that so far? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna want to have a little bit of, you know, grass through here and grass here. We might even want to have some hearts or something over here in this area, but I'm not gonna worry about that until the end, after we get all the detail work in. All right, so let's go ahead and get him started. Now remember, he's gonna have these stripes. So we have to remember what colors are what. I'm going to pull out my kneaded eraser because for the flower, I probably want this a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to lighten up those strokes enough where I can still see them, but not where they're going to be seen when I paint. Okay. All right. Is everybody ready to start putting color on? Hi, Stacy Lee. How are you? How are you? The head of the drawing is out of frame. Oh, sorry. My bad, Sage and Soul. I need to remember to look at these comments better. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes when I have a closer view, I forget that I'm not fully in frame all the time, so. All right. Okay, sorry, just checking comments. Good to see you too, Stacy Lee. All right, so here we go. We have done our drawing. So is everybody kind of feeling comfortable with that so far? Hopefully you are, and we will move on. And like I said, today's drawing, y'all wanted the skunk. I don't feel at all qualified to do this particular drawing, but we're going to try it anyway. It's liable to turn out a complete disaster, but for now we're going to make it work. All right, now I'm going to use pink for the flower, and I'm going to use yellow for the center. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my 18/0 detail brush from Golden Maple. Now, you don't have to use a detail brush with this. You could even use, if you wanted to, you could use colored markers or pencils. This is a very small area from a paint standpoint, but I like to do detail work with small brushes. That's one of the favorite things that I love to do. So, so I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to use paint. So I'm going to pull out my yellow and pink section of my meat and paint. I'm using the Golden Maple brush. I'm going to go ahead and put the paints up that we're using, because that is what most people ask about, is what paints I'm using. Stacy Lee, yes ma'am, hang on one second and let me get it for you. Hang on, I have to take y'all off of this for me to do that. This one isn't a magnet one like my other one, so it's harder for me to take it off of here. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is today's inspiration pick. Hopefully that helps. Okay. All right, let me get you back in here. Sorry guys, I just want to make sure I'm not covering up the microphone. Y'all let me know if you can't hear me. Hopefully you can. All right. Yes, I think she's adorable as well. And we will, we're going to make her cute. All right, so here we go. We're going to do pink. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is the center. I'm going to get this yellow orange. And I am going to just put a little bit of it right here at the base. And then I'm going to do this lighter yellow, which is right here at the top. And I'm going to blend those together so that it kind of has that shade. And if I need to, I can add more or less by lifting if I need to. But we just kind of want that to kind of blend. Okay. Now, I can't tell if I need to lift. My light is weird. I'm going to lift just a tad of that off. I always keep paper towels to dry my brush so I can lift color if I need to. I usually hold it in my hand, honestly, so that I can just do like this when I need to. All right, so that looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our detail brush and we're going to just wet with clear water. We're going to wet our petals. And I'm just going to do 2 at a time. And all I'm going to do is take this dark pink right here, and I'm going to put it right at the base of each flower, of each petal. Okay, it's going to spread on its own, and that's okay. We want it to do that. What we don't want it to do is to go out of the petals. We want it to stay in those petals, because we want the tips to be lighter than the base, so they're shadowed. If they're not exactly the way you want them, don't worry, we can always fix that with colored pencils at the end. But you want to get it as close as you can with your watercolors so that your shading is not as difficult when you get ready to do your colored pencils. You want to do most of the work with your paints. So just keep adding the clear water and then adding the pigment until you get your flower looking kind of the way that you want it to look. So add and take away, add and take away, add and take away. Okay, because remember, it's going to be a little bit messy and look weird at first. But I promise, in the end, you're going to be like, what? How did I make that out of the hot mess that I started with? Okay. Just make sure everything connects really nicely. This is why I tape my paper to wood, so I can turn my image if I need to. We didn't put a background on this little guy. I forgot. But if you want to do that, we can do that. I'll show you how to do that if you forget, because I did forget. Okay, so we've got his little flower done, but let's go ahead and do the background while I have time. Now, we don't want to get it on the flower. That's important. So I'm going to take, and I'm just going to do water all the way around everything that I have on here, except for the flower. We don't need it to be on him, so just know that, just kind of go around him, okay? So it's gonna look white when we get done, so don't, you know, it's fine. I'm gonna use I think I'm gonna do like a light green background. I think I wanna use this right here. Let me pull this out. I'm gonna use this macaroon green. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of go around my image. I know he's green, but he's not gonna be. All right, take your paper towel, dry it, and lift. Okay, and then just pat. Okay, now you've got that frame that you want. Okay, so no worries about the green on him because that's going to be covered up with the paint. All right, but he now has that like greenish background. Flower, yeah, I remember that. Oh, that was one of my favorite movies, Stacey Lee. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so now we can go back to our flower. Make sure everything's dry. Okay. And I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about when we put on detail work. So let's just say I'm just going to use my 005 and I'm going to go ahead and you know, kind of sketch out this flower. So you can see how things are going to come together. In the end. And what will end up happening is we'll go in with some colored pencils and we will make this even more dimensional with our shading. So just know and we'll do some detail work on the insides of the flower like this. Again, this is a 0.005, so it's a very fine tip of this micron pen. Okay, so even before we put the shading in with the colored pencils, it's starting to get some detail in it, and it's starting to look beautiful. Okay, all right, so that's kind of that's the process other than the colored pencils. I just kind of wanted to show you guys, those of you who are new, who don't know kind of how I work through the process of getting all of the details in once we draw him out like we did, you know, like when we draw, anytime we draw them out, they start off looking kind of crazy and yucky. So I don't want everybody to panic when you're doing yours and go, oh my gosh, mine's turning out horrible. I promise you, trust the process. Okay. All right, so we are going to, let's see, where do I want to go next? I think I want to do his chest next. And I need to bring this down because this goes kind of like this. There. I'm going to give him his hand, y'all, looks weird, though. I'm really struggling on this section right here with his hand, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that for a minute. and make sure that I have that right before I put color on them. So I'm going to go, this comes down and this goes up like that. And then this comes around like this. Oh, that is much better. Okay. All right, I feel better about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our detail brush. Let's get our green in there. I'm going to use that same light green that I used for the macaroon green that I used for the background. Okay, and we're going to just put our green on our stem. Just like that. And then we're going to do, we'll do the leaves after we do the chest, okay? Now the chest is going to be difficult because what we want, or not super difficult, but difficult enough. Because what we want to do is we want to keep the white, but we have to be able to, we don't want to just leave it the white paper, okay? We want to give it some color and dimension. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a wet on wet technique. We're going to take our Meeden #1 brush and we're going to go over the, hang on, let me, y'all, I got to put a battery in my computer real fast. Hang on, let me plug it in. It's running low and I've got to be able to see y'all's comments come through. So there we go. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this water and we're going to put it in the chest area. It needs to be clean and clear. So make sure you dump your old water and you have clean, clear water and get the entire thing wet. Okay, so it needs to be glistening. It doesn't have to be drenched, but it needs to be glistening. All the areas that you want to be wet. Everything else should be dry. And we're going to take our black and we are going to, actually, you know what? Let's do gray. Let's take our gray. Okay, so we're going to take our gray. Let me put all these back where they go so I don't get confused. Okay. Take your gray, get enough of it to, you know, be dark enough. And you're just going to go along the edge right there. Then you're going to rinse your brush really, really good. Make sure it's rinsed and it doesn't have a super big amount of water on it. And you're just going to take clear water and you're going to spread that across the chest area. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to create just a slight gray tint. So it's still white, but it's grayish white, okay? And you're going to do that same thing on the belly down here, okay? So you're going to add water, and you are going to add in some gray. Work around that stem. Probably should have done the stem after, and we didn't. So that was my bad. Live and learn. Okay, grab some gray. Put a little bit along the edge right here. And then go ahead and rinse your brush and clean it and then just drag it across. So you have the look of white, but it's not the same color as the paper, okay? It's still slightly gray. It's just enough that it gives it a contrast from the background, okay? And that's what we're wanting. Okay, so that's where we're at. Does everybody kind of see that contrast? Thank you, Rhonda. I think she's cute. For sure, I think she's cute. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing on the mouth and on the stripe on the head. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do this area. Don't do the nose. Make sure you go ahead and leave the nose. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. You can do the nose. Just go straight over the nose because the nose is gonna be darker than the mouth, so it's not gonna matter. So go over the nose with the clear water, the whole mouth and snout and everything. I know it's not a snout, but I call it a snout. Okay. And now, same thing, you're gonna grab some gray and we're just gonna go, I'm gonna go along the bottom right here. Just tapping with a really light hand. Rinse your brush, make sure it's nice and clean, and then just spread that gray up. If you don't feel like you got enough, you can add a little bit more to it, kind of the way we do our background by just adding it. And then if you need to lift it, you can lift by drying your brush and just going along here and just lifting some of that color off of there. Okay. All right, now we're gonna do the top of his head, which is right here. With clear water. Doesn't have to be drenched, just glistening. Go ahead and give it, I'm gonna go across here like this. And rinse my brush, drag it down. And again, if it's not dark enough, go ahead and add some, oops, that was a little bit much. If you do that, just add more water to it, spread it down, and then dry your brush and pick it up. It happens. Watercolor is forgiving. It's one of the things I love about it, is if you get too much, you can definitely, most of the time, you can fix your mistakes. Okay. All right, so we have his stripe there. Now we have to do the stripe on his tail. And that kind of comes like this. We're going to go ahead and just do this. And it's going to come down. I'm going to draw that stripe out because I want to make sure. And then he comes down like this. Okay, so that's the stripe in his tail. So let's go ahead and do that. Same way as we did the other, it's a wet on wet. Hey Babs, how are you? How's it going? All right, let's go ahead and add that gray in. Rinse your brush, drag it wherever you feel like it needs color. You might definitely on the tail have to add some extra in. We're just making it a very light, almost white gray. That way we have the difference. We know the difference between the background and the white part of the body. Okay. All right. So let's dry that and get all that dry. Okay, now we're going to go in and we're going to do a darker gray. Now, here's the thing about this. We don't want to use black because if we use black, then we're not going to be able to, our details are not going to show as much as we want them to. So he's not going to look as fuzzy and hairy as we want him to. So it's important that we use a dark gray as opposed to a black. So now I'm not going to use this gray because it's not dark enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dark gray and I'm going to try to mix me a good black with it. Okay, so I'm going to take this dark gray and I'm going to take a little bit of the black and I'm going to darken that gray up. A little bit more. So we have a very, very dark gray for the rest of his body. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that mixture as I get his body done. Okay. And if you feel like it's too dark once you go on, see, like that's really dark, go ahead and rinse your brush and add some water to it, and it'll lighten it up enough, but it'll still be that deep dark contrast, which is what we want. Okay, and we're just going to fill that in. So fill in all the rest of the parts that we need to fill in with this darker color. Now, when we add the detail work, it's going to even darken it up more and make it look even more black. So if you don't think it's dark enough right now, it will be when we get finished, okay? So just go ahead and darken in all the areas that you need to. And again, if it feels too dark when you start, go ahead, all the areas that you need to. And again, if it feels too dark when you start, go ahead and add to it. And it'll lighten up just a tad. Okay, so we're just going to fill in with this darker color all of the rest of the areas of his body, except his ears. Don't do his ears yet, because his ears have to have pink in them. So don't do his ears yet. But the rest of him can definitely be filled in. So I'm going to do it and go around his eyes. Thanks, Fab. Y'all, if I get out of frame, let me know. I keep forgetting to look up and check the comments, so. So keep his eyes white right now. We'll fix those in a little while. Those are going to take some finagling. All right. We're going to go right here. Just remember, it's going to darken up when we add in detail work, so don't panic if it's not quite black. It doesn't have to be, because when we get done with it, it will have those black highlights and the hair and everything, and it's going to be much, much darker. And I want you guys to know that when I started doing these lives, I don't even know, I was in, I think, maybe September. Actually, it might have been August, but anyway, I think it was August. There's no way I could have ever imagined that I could draw the way that I do now. And what I told you guys, I got that book, This Is Not a Sketchbook, and it's really helped me tremendously with my drawing skills. And so if you guys are struggling with drawing, I would really highly suggest you trying that book out. It was pricey, and so I was like, I didn't really want to spend the money on it, but also I really wanted to up my drawing level. And so I went ahead and purchased it, and I'm telling you, it is literally one of the best things I could have done for myself as an artist, because it has truly improved my drawing for my sketches, to the point where I'm considering doing a sketch club, which means that I'll draw a sketch out and then once a month, and then the members of the sketch club will get the sketch, not the drawing. I mean, not the painted version, but the sketched version, so that you guys can paint them if you want, as opposed to doing you know, having to draw it out yourself. So if you're in the sketch club once a month, you'll get that. And it may even be more than one. And then on my lives, when we're doing my lives, on the days we're doing sketch club lives, you'll have the sketch already drawn for you, and you won't have to draw it out. You guys tell me what you think about that idea. Because I think I've had a lot of people ask, is there a way we can get your sketches? So if that's something that you guys think would be beneficial, y'all can let me know about that. And then what you do is you just do the painting part of it. Oh, can I pin it? Yes, sorry about that. I'm just seeing the comments, guys. Yes, I will pin it. It is right here. It is an amazing book, and I'm telling you guys, for me, it was literally the best thing that I did for my drawing. There's no way. I mean, if you guys could see, and those of you who've been here with me since the beginning know the difference in my ability to paint and sketch and draw and all the things than when I started. Because you guys have seen that transformation. But I'm telling you, a lot of that transformation was that book. And I'm still not even finished with it. I'm still working my way through it every single week. I just do one lesson a week. I'm not doing it every day. And I'm on like lesson maybe 20. But it has really, really changed my ability to draw so much. So if you're really struggling with that part of it, I would highly suggest that you take the leap and get that book, because it definitely helped. It's by Lauren Horn, and she is an art teacher. And honestly, she believes that drawing is a skill set, that anybody can learn it, which I do too, because I did not know how to draw when I started. And so the fact that I can actually sketch all this stuff out now is completely crazy to me, because I'm telling you guys, when I first started, this process was not something that I was good at. So okay, so we've got him, we've got all of his body kind of colored in. I'm just making sure I don't have any harsh lines, y'all, because I don't like those. Okay, now what we're gonna do, all right, so let me go ahead and put my paints back up there again. All right, here are the paints we're using. I can't leave that book up too long if I don't have it showing, because they'll flag me for promoting a product I don't have, and I do have it. It's sitting right over here. But I don't want to get myself in trouble. I missed his whole arm, y'all. You see how I got that detail work around that flower with the tip of this brush? It's because these brushes hold their tips so well that you can do some of that detail work even with these bigger brushes. So just know that one of the things that I love about these Meeden brushes is that you can use the tips of them to get those details in, even. So if you don't have a detail brush, you can do that. And I really love that about these brushes. Okay, so we have that. Let's dry him off. Okay, so he's dry. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting in some details, all right? Now with his eyes, we're gonna want to, we need to do the circle parts of his eyes. So we wanna leave the corners white. So I'm just gonna make this circle in his eyes, just like this. because I want them to look, you know, I want you to be able to see the circle parts, okay? Now, what we're going to do with his eyes, this is going to be, we're going to have very sharp colored pencils for this. And we're going to have a really good white gel pen. So I'm going to tell you that these ZSCM gel pens are amazing. I know you guys already know that I'm obsessed with them, but I'm going to show you guys the pens. Martha, thank you for that purchase. Maggie, thank you for that purchase. You guys are going to love that book. You're not going to be disappointed that you got it. I'm telling you, congratulations, because you just leveled up your drawing skills by 1000%. I promise you. These are the ZSCM pencils or pens. They come in a pack of 100. The great thing about these pens is that they have the swatch in the pen. So you like color the strip and then you slide it down into the pen and you can see what color it is. They have 4 times the amount of ink as any other gel pen that I've ever had. So they are very, very, they're very cost effective. Sorry, I couldn't think of the term. They're also retractable, so you don't have to keep up with a lid. I love that about them. And they flow really well. They're very, very juicy. Okay. So these are the ones that I suggest when you're talking about a white gel pen, because people all the time are like, what do you use for white? This is the gel pen that I use, this white one right here. Okay, so I suggest that because this gel pen doesn't give me problems with flowing out. It flows really well, sometimes too much. So just so you know, that's the gel pen I'm using. Now you can use any white gel pen. You can also use white paint. You can also use, I mean, there's a ton of things you can use. This just is what I use. All right. So I wanted you guys to know what set that I have that has this pen in it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and now we're going to, I'm going to get the brown and the black. I'm going to use the dark ochre in the colored pencil, and I'm going to use the black in the So Color colored pencils. Okay. They are, I can't remember what product number those are. These are product number 30 in the bag below. All right. If you're looking for a good set of colored pencils. All right. Now I'm going to get my pencil sharpener and I'm going to sharpen them to a very, very good tip. Now, the great thing about these soft core pencils is they sharpen really well and they don't break like a lot of soft core pencils do. And I like mine to be have this super pointy tip on them when I'm doing detail work. All right, so I'm going to make sure that these are sharpened really well. Okay, so I have these really pointy tips on them. See how pointy they are? And soft core, these tips will go down quick. So, but what I'm going to do is in his eyes across the bottom here, I'm going to follow the contour of the circle, and I'm just going to do this brown right here, right across the bottoms of his eyes. Okay. Martha, that sharpener I got at Wally World. And it's just a battery operated one. Just so you know. It's super easy. It was cheap. So that's where I got it at. I didn't get it off a TikTok shop. Well, I'm probably not supposed to say that, but I didn't. All right, now above the brown, we're going to do the black. So we have the black at the top of the eyeball, and we have the brown at the bottom. Make sure if it looks like a pencil, then go ahead and go back over it with a heavier hand. Oh, I pressed too hard on that one. With a heavier hand. So that you have the smooth look. Okay, so you have the black and the brown. Then we're gonna go through and we're gonna put in the whites of his eye. So you wanna make sure that you have, sorry guys, I have to find a piece of paper. I always like to test them out before I start writing with them for my pens, just to make sure, because I don't want to mess up my drawing. All right, so now we're going to put just a little white dot right there and right there at the top of his eye. Okay, and then we're going to take our 005 micron and we're going to go all the way around his eye there. So his eyes are defined. Okay. So there's where we're at. Now, if we needed to, we could add some more highlights in wherever you feel like your eye needs it. Sometimes they need them at the bottom. Just whatever you feel like yours needs. Okay, I think mine looks good, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to start coming out from those eyes to make the hair. Okay. So go ahead and just kind of you're going to kind of follow the contour of the shape of the eyes. And you're just going to have that hair kind of follow. Okay, this is where the tedious part comes in. Okay, now I know we haven't done his ears yet. Don't worry, we're going to get there. Okay, so this is what I mean when I say it's going to darken up when you add the details. Yep, he came alive. Those eyes made him alive. They did. And even more as we add this hair. Now, before I get to the ear, I'm going to go ahead and do that part. The middle of the ear we want to be pink. So I'm going to take I'm going to use the Barbie pink, and I'm just going to do a little bitty section in the middle, like a little circle. Oh, I've got a piece of hair on there. A little circle of pink inside his ears. Actually, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to have it touch his face. Okay, so we're just going to put that pink and make the inside of his ear. You're going to have to dry that before you put the black on. It's amazing how you can miss parts of your drawing like that, like the ears, so easily when you're looking straight at it. All right, so now we're going to go around that pink. And see how I'm not using a detail brush. I'm using this medium brush. It's got a tip on it that stays really nice and pointy, and you can use these medium brushes for some of the detail work that you need. So, again, one of the reasons I love these brushes is they keep their tips really well. Okay, so now his ears are done. Now we can finish up the hair that we were working on around his eyes. Let me go ahead and dry him off. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and all right, let's go ahead and sorry, I was laughing at that comment, y'all. Okay. Now we can go ahead because some of that hair is going to kind of go into the ears, and we didn't want to do that without having color in them. So now we can go into the ears with that hair around the eyes, and it will be just fine. All right, now we're going to go around the ear, and remember the ear's got to have fuzz, so we're just kind of sketching it. We're not doing anything as a solid line, okay? We want to make sure that it's kind of all over the place, right? Okay. Now, the top of his head is going to have hair, and the white part of the hair is going to kind of come into the black, and that is where we're going to have to really be creative. So here's what I'm going to do. All right, you guys, I'm going to pull out my white gouache because it is more opaque than it is, it's not going to be translucent. So I'm going to pull out the Meeden white gouache paint, and I'm going to use that for the hair highlights. And then I'm going to use my detail brush to do that, okay? So, let me get my mixer. Let's see, where is my, hang on guys, I've got to get my palette. I'm going to use my small palette. A small Meeden palette. And we are going to use the gouache paint right here. And I'm going to use my 18/0 detail brush. Now remember, with gouache, it needs some water, so it needs to stay kind of damp. We're going to use some of this gouache paint soon. I promise you guys, we're going to work on learning how to use gouache, but we want it to have water. But the thing about gouache is that it's not as translucent as watercolor, so you get a deeper color to it. So that is why I want to use that for the hair around his eyes. Okay, so we're gonna use it to create. Now you can use white acrylic paint too if you want to, but we're gonna use it to just create that hair that's gonna go into his eye area. Okay, and we're just going to follow the contour. And you're not going to be able to see a whole lot of this because it's white. But when you mix it with the eye areas, you're going to start to see it. And this is just going to give him a little bit of texture and hair on the white areas of his body. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to show it a little closer so you guys can see kind of how that's making that texture. Okay, so that's what we're going for. Good morning, Judgmental. How are you? Oops, a little bit too much there, but that's all right. I'm not going to try to correct it. So what I'm doing is I'm just going up into above his head. So he's got some texture to his white area. So he's got fur. You could mix this a little bit with the gray if you wanted to make it a little more noticeable. I don't want to do that just yet. After I'm done, I can look and see if I feel like I need to. But I feel like that white is going to give it what I want. I will, across the top, mix it with some gray because You want that hair to come up across the top of his head. So if I wanted to, I would go in right here. Let me see if I can mix that. Okay, and then we would very light-handed. I told y'all this was going to be difficult with these colors, but we're doing it. We're going to make it work. We'll add in some black too in a minute. It's starting to rain here, and I have a metal roof, so if it gets really loud, then that's why. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're just following the contours, guys. Okay, so we kind of have his little hair coming out of him. Sorry, guys, let me get this. I'm pulling it closer to me. That's why it keeps going out of scene. So I'm going to move my tripod closer to me, and that'll be better. Okay, sorry, Carrie. I don't know if it's a him or a her. I have no idea. I haven't. Yeah, it's gender neutral. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how it turns out. He could be handing the flower to his girlfriend, or she could be holding a flower. Who knows? We're not there yet. Okay. So that's how we're going to kind of do his hair. And then also we're going to come up with my pen. Where's my micron? And let me dry this first. Okay. And we are going to also come along and give him and just some directional lines. Okay. And then again, we're going to follow the contour of his face going into the tail, and then the eyes. So all the different directions of the way that this fur is supposed to go is what makes this a little bit more difficult. But again, we're not going for realism either. We're going for fun and whimsical, so it can be a little bit more rigid. Okay, and then we're going to go into this direction as well. Okay, so that's kind of how we're solving the issue of the colors, because you want his white to have fur, okay? So you have to figure out a way to do that. Thank you, Carrie. Oh, I'm excited for you to get it set up. All right, so again, we're going to go across and put in the fur across the bottom. I feel like you have to bring these tips out a lot here to really exaggerate that shape. Of his face. Okay, and now we're going to shift back over to our gouache for his face. Don't worry, we're going to put in some shading in a little while with all of this with the pens or with the pencils, and it's going to bring it all together, all right, especially around the eyes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do just some of his cheeks. Very light hand. You don't want too much. Up here too, we want to go into this area a little bit with the white. And then we want to kind of go up into this area with the white. Again, I'm using the gouache paint because it's more opaque than translucent. So I'm using the gouache in the white areas. And then I'm just following the contour of his face to kind of give it some texture. To sort of look like fur. I'm not gonna, I'm not really making fur. I'm just kind of giving it some texture. Which, honestly, I'm not sure is the right way to do this. But, again, I told y'all I wasn't sure how I was going to do this today. So, that's what we're doing. Honestly, when we get that shading in there, it'll be fine. Okay. Now, we need to do his chest. When we do the chest, I want you guys to understand that right under his chin is where we're going to do that cross hatching, because we're going to need a little bit of a shade there, and that cross hatching is going to bring in that shading. So let's go ahead and do some of that cross hatching right under his chest, and then we'll do his fur along this area right here where his body connects. And we are going to follow the contours of that with just some lines. And that's okay, because when we get the shading in with the pencils, it's going to be fine. We're going to take his little arm and we're going to make fur there. So we have a darker area there, so we know that's part of his arm, okay? And same thing here. We're going to darken up those areas so we can distinguish the difference between his arm. I love the way you explain everything that you do. Oh, thank you very much, Tamara. Yes, gouache paint is it's kind of a mixture between watercolor and acrylic. So it's opaque like acrylic, but it needs moisture like watercolors. And the only reason I know that is because I just recently started playing around with it. I have not ever used gouache before, but now I am familiar with it because I've been playing around with it. I actually got a Stay Wet palette that just came in from Nick Pro, and I'm excited to use it because I think it's going to be really good for the gouache because it does need to stay wet. Another thing that I ordered is these multi-liners from Grabby. They're like these, but you get them in colors because like for now, like I would love to have a 0.005 in a gray. If I had a gray, I could do this white fur so much easier with a gray pen. But unfortunately, I don't have one. So I think that that will make a big difference. So when I get those Grabby multi-liners in, I will let you guys know. I think I have them in my shopping cart actually below. I think I went ahead and put them in even though mine haven't come in yet. I can't remember if I did or not. No, I didn't, but I'll have them up. I'll have them up soon. But they're colored, and so I think I'm really gonna like those. So we're just going to keep doing. Remember, when you want to distinguish the body parts that are the same color, like on this tail right here, I just darkened up these lines with that hair. Just made it darker and thicker so that you can see the difference between the two, okay? And there's not really a rhyme or reason to how we do the hair. You just make it fuzzy, however you need to do that. It doesn't go in any specific direction. It doesn't have to be done a certain way, just as long as it's fuzzy, right? All right, let's get this tail done, and then we'll start putting in some details. Now, know that once we get the colored pencils out, guys, this guy is really going to start coming together. Now, he's looking pretty good, in my opinion. I think he looks all right. But once we start putting in the colored pencil, you're really going to see what I'm talking about. You get his little ear. You just want to make everything as fuzzy as you can because he's a fuzzy little creature. Okay, and then separating out the sections will come with the colored pencil as we put in some dimension. So just know he's going to have a lot of dimension coming once we pull out the colored pencils. And again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just taking a guess at it. So you guys, y'all's guesses are as good as mine when it comes to how we need to do this. So honestly. Okay, so we're just following, I'm just following the contours of his tail to darken that up and give it a hairy, fuzzy look. Okay. And then let's see. I gotta pull up my reference photo again. I wasn't looking at it. All right, so this needs to come out like this. We're gonna go right along here and then over the top of his foot right here. Just following the contours again, once again. Right here, his foot comes in. Okay. All right, now we need to do his belly. I'm going to add in some of this gouache again and just bring some of that down in his belly to give him a little bit of fur look to his belly. And I promise that even when he looks a hot mess right now, when we get those colored pencils out, he's gonna look really good. All right, let's do his nose and his mouth. For his mouth, I'm gonna use my pencil, or my pen. Okay, and his nose, we're gonna do with the detail brush. I'm just gonna make it pink, and then we're gonna highlight it. With, again, that amazing little gel pen that's white, or white gel pen. So let's make his nose, and then, whoops, then dry it. We're gonna give it a little black right here. A little bit of nose holes. And then we're gonna take our gel pen, and we are gonna do just a little highlight right across the top. Right there. Okay, so now he has a little moist looking nose. What do you guys think of that? So cute. Okay, now we're not done. We have to pull out our pencils now. And we'll bring in some grass and stuff too in a minute. But let's go ahead. Here's the colors that I'm going to be pulling out of the So Color pencils that we're going to be using for the shading. All right, so they are going to be unjudgmental. No, she did not. Really? Thank you, Golden Girl. Yes, it's called having fun. That is exactly right. Okay, let me pull up. It's product number 30. These are the pencils that I'm using. They are So Color pencils, and I'm going to be using the black, the gray, and the pale red gray. All right, those are going to be, and I'll be using the white. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, remember when we shade with these pencils, we do light layers, and we do them, we layer them. So we do light-handed, then a little heavier-handed, then a little heavier until we get it to where we want it. First thing I want to do is around the eyes. So what I want to do is I want to bring in this black right around the eyes and just kind of bring it out and right underneath. So I'm going to darken up this area right around the eyes. I'm going to bring it all the way down. I'm going to take this gray and bring it in as well, right along here. Okay, now I want you guys to see what that did to that eye. Do you see the difference? I want you guys to understand that once we start putting in the colored pencils, we start bringing dimension in. So see, this eye looks really flat, and this one does not. This one looks like it's got depth and dimension to it, and that is because I took that colored pencil and did that shading in there. So I hope that that makes sense to you guys. I'm going to do the same thing right up here at his ear. I'm going to do his ear with gray, and then a little bit of the black right here and right here where it connects. Again, I'm just going to keep layering them. And making that all come together. Okay, is that making sense, guys? All right, now, same thing here. We're going to do some shading with the gray. All right, so we're going to go in, and I'm going to just color, do this gray like this, right on the sides where the hair is, and right along the nose with the gray. And then I'm going to take the dark gray, do the same thing. But I'm going to stay closer to the edge, so I'm not going to bring it out as far as I brought the light gray out. Okay, same thing. I'm going to go back over it with that light gray with a little heavier hand. And then the dark gray. So it's kind of bringing all of this together. Now, as I'm going over, some of the detail work is going away with that pencil, and that's okay because we can always go back over it with that. We just want to get this defined as much as possible. And we don't want it to have pencil marks. We want it to be shaded. In order to do that, we have to have layers. Okay. Then I take my white and I blend all of this out together. Okay, now we can take our fine liner again, and if we need to, we can pull in some of that hair back in there. And we can even use, you know what, this is more of a, I think this one's too thin. Hang on, let me get a bigger one. We're gonna use the point, we're gonna use the 01 for this. There we go, that's better. Okay. I don't know why these are not wanting to do what they're supposed to do. Okay. All right. Unjudgmental, no, these are not. These are just regular soft core pencils. Okay. Sorry, guys. I know I keep getting it out of screen. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that today. I think it's because I have it zoomed in so far, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to having a little bit more space to move around. So, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We are going to go through with our black around the eyes. And all I'm doing is just following the contour of the eye, and I'm layering it slowly. And then I'm bringing in the gray when I need to. Actually, that was the gray, wasn't it? Now I'm going to go with the black. All right, here comes the rain, guys. If it gets loud, I'm sorry. I have a noise canceling mic that I can plug in if I need to, but it won't, and this tripod won't work with it, so I'll have to move y'all's view. So I'm going to try to let it ride unless it gets too loud. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a little bit more of this fur right through here. And I think that looks good. All right. So look at the top. You guys see how that shading brings his head kind of into dimension? Y'all have, where are you at? What area are you in, Unjudgmental? We haven't had any rain for a week or so, couple weeks, so it's good. We need some rain, but it's also very loud when you have a metal roof. All right, so I made his ears, and I'm going to go ahead and define this ear out a little bit more like that, so you guys can see the actual ear itself in the front of the tail. Okay, so right, and then right around here as well, around the pink, I'm going to make that a little darker too, just so that we have that contrast of the ear versus the tail. Okay. Oh, Arizona. Yeah, y'all probably do need some rain there. It's hot. It's hot there. What's the temperature there right now? Just out of curiosity, I remember I went to Arizona one time and it was hot, hot, hot. But of course we were there in July, so it was very hot. Of course, Texas is the same way though. We're pretty hot here too in the summertime. And we have so much humidity, it's horrible. Okay. Okay, okay. All right, let's go ahead and do the mouth. So we're going to take the light gray and bring in the corners of the mouth like this. And then we're going to go across the bottom here. And we're going to take the dark gray and we're going to bring in the corners, but we're not going to come out quite as far. Again, the light gray, a little heavier touch. We have to layer it. And then the dark gray. Okay. This little guy almost looks like, without the tail, this guy would look like our raccoon that we did yesterday. And just in a different color. Okay. Then we take our white and we're going to blend that out. Okay. I'm going to have to sharpen my white. Yeah, he's a skunk. This was our raccoon from yesterday that we did. But this little guy's supposed to be a skunk. So see the difference? It's the tail that makes a difference. Oh, goodness. All right. Hang on. There we go. All right, so we have his face done. All right, now let's do the shading on his tail. So this is where we're really going to bring him to life. He's going to really become 3D when we start bringing in the shading in his tail here. So we're going to go into these areas where there's going to be some darkness to his tail. And we're just going to layer that. And I'm even bringing that up some with this pencil so that we can kind of see that contrast. I'm going to go along the edging where he hits the white because we want there to be that contrast of the difference in the colors. And obviously the tip of his tail is going to be darker. So we have those shadows in there. Then we're going to do the same thing with this gray. I'm going to bring the shadows up here. And we're going to have some shadows right here. And we'll have some shadows right here at the tip. And we will take the white. Bring that together to kind of blend that out. And then a little bit of black right here to blend that together. Okay, so you see that tail now is just more fluffy. Same thing here. And we're just going to kind of bring that in. I'm going to take, no, I'm not. Just blend that out. Okay. So now we have that. You can see the difference between where his body is and where his tail is, which is what we want. Okay. We do want to make sure that in these corner areas that things kind of blend out. You've got your shadows where they need to be. And then right here underneath his neck, where we did that cross hatching, we're going to use this light gray to give us that shadow under his neck that we want. Go in with the dark gray, light gray, dark gray. Okay. So just remember, you have to be patient with pencils. Layer them. Do not try to do them all in one layer, because if you do, you will end up with a lot of pencil marks, and it's going to be you're going to have lines that don't blend well. You always want to try to layer. Okay. Same thing right here up underneath his arm. There'll be a shadow there. So we want to show that shadow. Right here. Okay, so we have that shadow. And then we also want to have a shadow right underneath his belly and his feet. So we want to use the black for that. And just kind of bring that shadow out right there. And then go ahead and darken up these shadows that we have with our detail work, just slightly. Because we want to be able to see the difference between his leg and his body here. Okay, so we want those lines to be very, very, yes, unjudgmental. It is, I just downloaded this morning. The two that are up right now are these two. The giraffe and the bear, and I just downloaded him this morning, and as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to upload him. So he'll be up there, and literally when I get off of here, it'll probably take about 15-20 minutes to get him uploaded. So he'll be uploaded as soon as I get off. That way y'all will have access to him, and then I will do the same thing with him. I'll download him as soon as I can and get him uploaded for you guys. Okay. So now, let's see. Now I want to make sure that we have his belly kind of defined. So give him those little lines. And then I'm going to take my marker and give him a few. Or my micron, sorry, not a marker. And just kind of emphasize some of that. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to take my white and I'm going to blend all of this together. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to have to pull out one of my green gel pens because I want to do the leaves, but watercolor over these pencils is not going to work because it's like it's got a waxy film on it, so watercolor isn't going to absorb into it now. So I'm going to go ahead and use my gel pens to create my leaves. For my flower. Okay. And then I want to use my dark pink and my light pink to highlight the darks of the flowers, of the flower leaves. Just gonna darken up those already shaded areas of the flower. They were already shaded because we shaded them with the detail brush, but I want to emphasize the center darkness of these petals. Okay, so that's going to make that better. All right, now I want to give these leaves some definition. That's the wrong size. Where is my larger one? Let's see, here it is. Oh no, that's too large. Hang on. Hang on, guys. I gotta find it. Let's do the 05. I use a really light touch when I'm doing this because I don't want it to be overpowering. But I do want it to have a little bit of lines there so you can kind of see the detail of the stem. Okay. All right, now we want to do grass. So I'm going to pull out my meter number 1, which is, where are you? Right here. I've got a mess on my desk today, y'all. We used a lot of supplies. All right, so I'm going to use my meter number 1, and I'm going to go in with that same macaroon green. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of go across here like this for the base. Of the grass. Okay, and then we'll dry that. Y'all, this little guy's giving me a run for my money this morning. He's been tough. All right, I'm going to take my gel pen that matches the stems, and I'm going to just give myself some blades. Okay, and then I'm going to do, I think I might do another green. Let me just find a darker green. And I'm going to use that as well. Now guys, these gel pens are awesome. If you haven't tried them, they're retractable. They have four times the amount of ink as a normal gel pen. And they have a swatch that's built into the pen. So you like paint this little, or you just color it and then you slide it down in there. And you know exactly what color. You don't have to keep up with the swatch. And they're retractable, so you don't have to keep up with the lid. So, love these. They are product number... These are my favorite gel pen set out of all the ones that I own, which are a lot. They're product number... no, that's not right. Hang on. Well, where are they, y'all? Why am I having so much trouble finding them? I had them pinned earlier. Let's see. They're the 100 set by ZSCM. It's the 100. They have a 60 and they have a 100 of the mixed. It's going to have your, it will have your regular colors and your glitter colors. Hang on, right here. Oh, they're sold out. That's why I can't find it. We sold out of them, guys. But they do have the 60 count set is still available. So the 60 count set is right here. I'm just going to pin it for you guys just so you know what it is. But the 100 set is sold out currently. Hopefully they'll get more in stock. I'm not surprised though, because they're a really good set of gel pens. So, all right, so I've added my grass. And then I think what I want to do is maybe do just some little, I don't know, maybe some little hearts along the side there. No, I'm going to just splatter it. Okay, so we're going to splatter it with the black today. So I'm going to get the number one gel pen, or no, gosh, number one meat and brush. Sorry, y'all, my brain is not working this morning. I'm gonna have to take me some astaxanthin this morning. I haven't had it yet. I usually take it before I do my live, and I didn't. I don't know about you guys, but if y'all don't, I don't know if you know anything about astaxanthin. This is not in my product list. It is in my showcase, but this stuff is great for brain focus and function, just so you know. I'm going to be posting a video about it today. It's really good, but I didn't have a chance to take it this morning, so my thinking is a little off this morning because I'm very neurodivergent. And I have to be able to focus. And so, all right, so we're going to get our black. We're going to get a lot of black on our brush. I don't want it to be big, giant drops, though, so I'm going to take off a little bit of the water. I'm going to use, I want to cover his face because I don't want his face to be messed up. So I'm going to take a little paper towel, and I'm just going to put it over his little face. So his eyes and mouth and nose aren't going to be messed up. Okay, and then I'm going to just splatter. And honestly, I think I might want to put some pink in there too to match the flowers. So I'm going to get this pink too. And I'm going to do a little bit of pink. Okay. Let's dry him. Okay, and then we will peel this tape. Now, you guys saw yesterday how I said I don't like the meeting tape because it bleeds through. Hopefully today we don't get a bleed through and we get that clean line. That's what I'm hoping for. So far, so good. Yeah, see how much cleaner that line is? Oops, it even kind of took a little bit of the paper because that was where that mistake was, but that's all right. That was my fault, not the tape's fault. But now we have that, so we just have that barely green background, as you can see right along the side here. Okay, that's that frame that I'm talking about. So you couldn't even tell that that background was really there until we pulled the tape off. Yeah, you can't see it. It doesn't really matter. You're right. It needs a white stripe down its back or tail. Oh, it has one. This is his tail. Here. Maybe, so this is his body right here. I probably should have emphasized that more. And then this is his tail, starting this whole thing with the white stripe on it is his tail. I know it's kind of hard to see. I was very concerned about being able to make this work today, y'all, but we did it. Y'all wanted to do a skunk, so we did a skunk. And I think he turned out pretty good. I mean, he's not my favorite, but he did turn out all right. What do you guys think? Hopefully that was fun. Hope that you had a good time today doing this. The idea behind these tutorials every day is just for us to enjoy having some creative time together. Can you add a rabbit to your list? Yes, Rhonda, I will add a rabbit to my list right now. Rabbit. Oh, I don't know if it's 1T, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know what it means. We're going to mark off the skunk though. Okay, skunk is done. Okay, is it 1T or 2T's on rabbit, y'all? Or is it 1B and 2T's? It's either 2 B's and 1 T or 1 T and... I don't know. Kinder Kelly, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Martha, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Crystal, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, 2 B's, 1 T. 2 B's, 1 T. Thank you, Rhonda. I should have just looked at yours. You spelled it correctly on your comment. I didn't even need to look up. So I'm so glad. I hope you enjoyed it today. We are, we're getting better, guys. We're getting better. I mean, that was a tough one today. I mean, it really was. Like, that was not an easy painting today. It was for sure something that was a lot harder than what we normally do. So good job for everybody who did it today and made it through the whole thing without completely and totally giving up, because I kind of midway through wanted to throw in the towel. This paint set, you can pull these out, and I pull them out a lot to use them so that I'm not having to use the whole palette. So that's why I was just putting those back into place. I am going to be doing a lettering tutorial at some point. One of my goals this year is to get better at my lettering. I am working on that. I actually got a course. I purchased an online course to improve, and hopefully as I start to improve, we will start to add in some lettering stuff to my tutorials. So yes, Kinder Kelly, I plan to do that, and thank you for holding me accountable. I need that, you guys. So you guys all know that my goal this year is to get better with colored pencil, which we've been working on, and to also improve my lettering skills. So those are two of my creative goals this year. And so thank you guys for holding me accountable. And just know that as soon as I feel confident enough to show you some of the things I've learned, I will. I know it's not going to be perfect, and I'm not worried about messing up, but I really don't feel right now that I have anything that I can teach you guys that you probably don't already know, because I'm not that far into the course. But once I learn, I will share it with you. So I promise. Yes, I need to sign it. Thank you for reminding me about that, Rhonda. I will sign that right now. This will be going up on my eBay with all my other ones. Currently, I don't have any listed, but all of these are going to be going up. I've been working on getting the descriptions written, but they are all going to go up. I did have one sell this week, though, which was pretty cool. It's the first time I've had one sell on there, so... But these are all going to go up this week at some point. So today's tutorial is complete. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to pop you down off of here and put you back over here so we can go through all of the products and everything. The one that sold is, hang on and I'll pull it for you. It's called Sir Wattlesworth, and it wasn't one I did on live. It was one I did while I was gone over my break. Let me see if I have it in here. No, I don't. It's probably up here. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. I may have already packed them up. I can't remember. Where is he? Well, you guys, I think I have them already packed up. But anyway, he was super cute. And he was a little duck. Kind of a duck. He was kind of a duck, a cross between a duck and a pretend character. So it wasn't like really, it was kind of a pretend fictional character because he didn't look exactly like a duck. So, well, but I don't know what I did with him, you guys. Oh, here he is. Found him. This was the one that sold. You're so welcome, Golden Girl. I hope you had a good time. Unjudgmental, you're so welcome. I'm glad you guys joined me. Everybody that made purchases today, thank you so much. Martha, thank you for grabbing those pins up as well. You're going to really like those. I think you got the 60 set, right? The mixture of the glitter plus the gel pins. Those are really nice. It's a really nice set. So anyway, he sold this week, which I was surprised because I actually had these listed. I had this little guy listed, which I think is just precious. I had this girl listed. She walks in color. And I had him listed, and I had the kitty cat listed. And this was the only one that sold. And I was surprised because I really like her. I think she's super cute. I'm not sure why she didn't sell because she's cute. But anyway, it doesn't matter. These will be relisted this week as well. They'll be relisted, and then I will also be listing for the first time these three, this one, and my little duckling. So those will all be going up this week to list. All right, so if you want the replay on anything we've done this week so far, we've done Monday, we did this one. Tuesday, we did the giraffe. Wednesday, we did the raccoon. Today, we did the skunk. So if you need any of the replays on those, you can get those on my Tube of You channel. You can find that on my TikTok page. Excuse me. Go to my TikTok page and click under my BIO, where my LINK tree is, and that will take you to my Tube of You channel. There'll be all of my different platforms will be there. Okay, and you can find me on any of the platforms if you click on that LINK. All right. And these two will be going up today. So these two tutorials will be up by this afternoon. These two are already up on that channel. I need to pull y'all back. I forgot I had y'all zoomed in. All right, so let's go over really quickly. Those of you who joined me for the tutorial today and aren't going to hang around for the review of the products, thank you so much. Thank you for your purchases. Thank you for participating in the tutorial. Tomorrow I will be on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, or close to it. I was a little late getting on today, but usually around 10 o'clock Central Standard Time is when I will be on tomorrow. And Rhonda, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I think I might want to do, I don't know yet. I just don't know yet. I've looked at a couple of different things. I've generated a few images. So it'll be a surprise. It'll be a surprise. Maybe a mouse tomorrow. We'll see. Something other than something that looks like a raccoon or a skunk, because these look so much similar. So I want to do something different. But it'll be at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. So those of you who hung out with me and painted today, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Those of you who made purchases, thank you so much. I appreciate that as well. You know that is incredibly, it helps me so much because I just, this is my income right now because I am no longer employed. I sold my business of 35 years a year ago in September, and it has been a transition for me for sure. So thank you guys for being supportive and embracing me into an entirely different field, because I was a gymnastics coach for 35 years. I'm a nutritionist and exercise physiologist by trade, but I'm a pretend artist with you guys on TikTok, and I am loving it, and I'm so thankful that you guys have embraced me to do that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And those of you who want to know what we used today for this tutorial, I'm going to go through that. We did use this Meeden palette. This is the 96 color palette. It comes with 30 metallics, which metallics are, you know, usually in a palette by themselves, and they're quite pricey. But this comes with 30 in this palette without having to purchase it separately, which I really like. It also comes with 12 of the macaroon colors and 6 of the neon colors, along with your regular general colors. These go from lightest to darkest, which makes it very easy to do your shading and to learn how to shade with your colors, because you just move up the line as you go. So I love that. They do come out, so you can remove them, which is what I do when I'm using a section. You can also remove them individually if you choose to. You can pop these out. I don't, because I don't want to get them mixed up, but you can do that. Or if you're, I guess if you're refilling it or whatever. Then you also get a brush and a pencil, an eraser, 2 art sponges, and you get your mixing palette, which I have moved over here. Hang on, let me grab it. You get a mixing palette that connects right here. Oops, sorry guys. And it just folds in when you're ready to close it up and travel with it, which is nice. So I don't travel with this one. I travel with my Meeden travel palette, but you can travel with this one because it does fold up and close up. It's just a little bit bigger than their travel palette, and I like to take smaller stuff with me when I'm doing that. Golden Girl, thank you. Well, I mean, I'm not a trained artist, but I do like to pretend to be an artist when I'm on here with you guys. So that's the palette that we used today. All right, guys. The other thing that we used was the Meeden brush set. I'm going to pull those out for you guys because this brush set is literally my favorite out of all of the brushes that I own, which is a lot. I have a ton of brushes, and these brushes are my very, very favorite because they're made super well. They hold their shape really well. So even with these larger brushes, you can see they have this tip on them that you can do detail work with. They also are ergonomically made to reduce hand fatigue. So if you're painting for hours on end, your hand doesn't get so tired. They're short, so you can control your strokes really easily. They also do not rust around the ferrule. This metal will not rust, so you don't end up with rust in your artwork, which is great. And Donna, thank you for the follow. I'm going to follow you back if I can, if it'll let me. There we go. And they also stay really tight around the ferrule. They don't loosen up at all, which is nice. They hold a ton of water because they're synthetic squirrel hair, which is great. And I have the 4-brush set, but they also make a 9-brush set. And I will tell you this, these brushes have made a huge difference in my ability to paint and my level of art. So my art has really leveled up since I started using these brushes. I initially started using the brush that came in this palette, which was fine. And it was a good brush and I learned a lot and I was fine with it. But once I got these, I was like, holy cow, I never realized how much, that's funny, Golden Girl. I never realized how much I just never realized how much a brush could make a difference in your art, but it really, really does. Brushes and paper do matter, guys. They really do. Now, if you're a beginner, I don't waste my money on expensive paper. Like when I first started, I didn't waste my money on expensive paper because I knew I was going to mess up a lot. But now I always use really good paper. And I always use my really good brushes. So just so you know, brushes matter. Myra, thank you for your purchase. You're going to love those brushes. Congratulations on getting those because your art is going to level up. And guys, these won't break the bank either. Normally, you would pay $30 or $40 for a professional brush for one brush. And you can get this entire set for under 30 bucks. So that is a great deal. Or under 40 bucks. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what the price is on this, but I know that it is way less than if you're buying these individually like you would at a store. And they are definitely a professional brush. Okay, guys. So if you're looking for a good professional brush that's not going to break the bank, this set is great. And that's what we used on this little guy today. Okay, so 34. So a little bit over 30 bucks. Thank you, Myra. So she got them for $34. So that's a really good price for professional brushes. I'm not gonna lie, I've paid that for one single brush before. So don't think that brushes can be they are not cheap. Okay, they just are not, unfortunately. Okay, the next thing that we used, guys, was we used the Meeden Meeden paper. Now you guys, paper makes a difference too, and I will tell you on this guy right here, I bought some cheap paper off of the Zon. Thank you so much. Always No Mud. And I did not like it. I bought 100 of these already pre-cut ACEO sizes, and I got the paper in, and I was like, I don't like it. I used it. It was beating up when I put too much water on it. It wasn't holding tape well. It was just not good. And honestly, I can tell a difference in how this image looks on this paper versus how the image looks on this paper. You can see the difference, okay? It is a big difference. Not only is it a big difference in like the way that your images look, I mean, look at that, but also the vibrancy of the color, all right? This one is not near as vibrant as this one. And it is because of the paper, okay? The paper it makes a difference. So we use the Meeden art paper. I get the 5x7 size, okay? So the hey, Stacey Lee, the 5x7 size it makes 4 of your ACO sizes, exactly. So there's no waste. So when you cut these, you're going to get 4 of these exactly with no waste, and you're going to have this amazing paper. And so if in a package of 20 sheets, you'll end up with you'll end up with 80 ACEO sizes. Okay. That's what I love about this size. And then, of course, it's 100% cotton, cold press. It's 300 GSM. You can get them in other sizes too. I have the 3x4 size as well, which is a little bit bigger than this size. But this is the ACEO size. And you get 4 out of each sheet. And this is the size that I like to do because these are the sizes that tend to sell better for me. So, just so you know. But like I said, you can see the difference between cheap paper, this lame paper. I think I paid like maybe $8 for an entire, for 800 or for 100 of these already pre-cut. And this paper is on a flash sale right now for a little under $14. And I can get 80 of this size out of it. So almost the same amount of numbers of these sizes, but it's a much better paper and it's just a little more expensive. So, I do not, when I sell them, I send them in these sleeves, but I do have a frame, that I put mine in that I like. Here is one currently that I have framed on my desk. I'm fixing to change it out because it's not really fall anymore, but this was this was one we did on our live months ago. And I really, really liked it. So I framed it and kept it, but I'm going to change it out and I'm going to do, something new in this soon. So I frame them if I'm keeping them. But if I'm selling them, no, I do not. I send them out in these little sleeves with some cardboard around them so they're safe and they can frame them themselves. So, okay, let's see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just catching up on comments, guys, making sure nobody has any questions about anything. Oh, you're welcome, Stacy Lee. Do I wax them? No, I do not. Some people do, and I probably should, but I just have not. I just never have. I don't know. I've just never made it a priority to do that. I probably should. I need to get some wax so I can do that. That's probably a really good idea. So that's a really good question, and the answer is you probably should, but I do not. And I probably should be better about that. So, okay, so we use the paper, and then let's see, what else do we use? We use the colored, we use this. This is the drawing pen set that we use. It comes with your mechanical pencils in every size. So let me close this up so I can put this out here so you guys can see it. I'm going to put this in here so it'll go down in there. Okay. So, this set comes with your 0.7, 0.5, 0.9, and 3 of your 2.0 mechanical pencils. And it comes with all of your hardnesses, your 8B, your 2B, you get your 4B, your 6B, your 2H's, and your 4H, I think. No, just your 2H. So if you are looking for a incredible pencil set for drawing, you get colored leads with this. You get your erasers with this. You get 3 of these erasers. You get a kneaded eraser. You also get pencil sharpeners for the 2.0. So this is a great pencil set. I use this every day, multiple times a day. Especially in my journaling, because I do draw your day journaling. So when I'm doing a draw your day, I definitely use all of these pencils in different sizes because they really come in handy trying to do your shading and everything when you're doing black and white. So when you're not doing any color, it's really helpful to have all the different sizes. Unjudgmental, I got this one at Wally World for under $20. It's battery operated. And it's the one that I use, and it's super easy to just pop this out and dump it, and that's what I use. So I don't have one, but I know there are a few in TikTok Shop, and I don't necessarily know if they're any good or not, but like I said, I just grabbed that one because it was inexpensive and easy to I was looking for a good pencil sharpener, so I had one that plugged in, and the cord was always getting in the way, so I specifically went to Wally World to look for a pencil sharpener that did not have a cord. Bye, Golden Girl. I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, if you can make it. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for tapping. Thanks for giving me all the likes. You guys are great. Don't forget to grab your engagement points. Guys, if you haven't done that at the fan club, it helps your account and it helps mine too. So if you haven't grabbed that, click that heart right there and grab yours before we get off of here so that everybody gets their points for that. It'll also notify you that I'm on live when you join the fan club. So be sure you do that. Yay, Stacy Lee, no doctor tomorrow. Good job. I'm so glad. All right, so this was the other thing that we used was the pencils, and then the last thing was the colored pencils. All right, so we used the colored pencils, which are right down here. They're product number 30. They are my very favorite set of colored pencils that I have. And the only thing that I will say about these is 72 colors sounds like a lot, but when you're doing, oh, this is the pencil that comes with the, this is the pencil that comes with your kit, your paints. If you're doing a lot of shading and you want a lot of different, like ombres and a really nice blend, then these 72 colors it's not really that many, honestly. I'm looking for a set of pens that I absolutely love as much as I love these, but also has more color options to them. Just because I'm really trying to up my game on my colored pencils. So I'm looking to get a better, not a better set, but a set that has more color options on them, because I really want to be able to blend more of the same shades. So but these are the ones that I love and use most often. And so if I can't find a set that I love as much as these that have more colors in them, I just won't get them. So hopefully I'll get a few samples in and try some out and see. I've applied for a couple of samples of some that are bigger sets, and these are, and so I can try them out, because I don't want to get anything. I don't want to spend money on, colored pencils are pricey. So I don't want to buy one and then not love it like I love these. So hopefully I'll find one that's got more colors. But until then, this is my go-to set, and I love this set so much. And I use it all the time. And so that's what we used for the shading on today's Skunk. So we used these So Color pencils. All right, so that is everything that we used today, other than the Golden Maple detail brushes. Forgot to put those up for you guys. And the Micron pens, which you guys know all of that. But these were the detail brushes that we used today. Okay, so if you are looking for a good set of detail brushes, that these are what I used. I used the 00, but this set comes with a 0, a 1, and a 00 size. All right, guys. All right, does anybody have any questions before I hop off of here? It is time for me to make me some lunch. Everybody who made purchases today, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. It always helps when you support my showcase. It helps me to come on here every day and go live with you guys, and it also helps my income. So, Myra, thank you for that purchase of the paper and the brushes. You're going to love those so much. I'm so excited for you. You are going to be hooked up with everything that you need. What size card do you use? Okay, this is a 2.5 by 3.5, but it's cut from the 5 by 7 sheet. So the 5 by 7 sheet goes equally 4 ways without any waste. So you won't end up with a little piece of paper left over that you don't use. All right. It doesn't give you any waste. You can cut this you can get 4 out of this. So when you get 20 sheets of this, you end up with 80 of the ACEO sizes, which are the sizes that we do on our tutorials. So you'll end up being able to get 80 out of this. And you can see the difference in this. Again, the paper difference. This is the cheap paper that we did on Monday that I hated. And this is the good paper. And you can see a massive difference in the quality of the image and the feel of the colors, the way the colors pop on the page. I think if I had done this on this paper, this would be so much better. So I just gave my grandson all of this paper that I bought because I don't like it. Size again. Let's see. Can you show the size again card holding up to the paper? Yes. So it goes like this. All right. So this is, I'm just going to put it on here like this for you guys so you can see them. I'm going to set them out like that. So this is how they work. Hang on. Pull this one too. Okay. So you see you can get 4 of the ACEO sizes out of one sheet of the 5x7 paper. Okay, so that's what I got. These 4 were one sheet of this paper. Okay, and let me pin that paper for you guys so you have it below. All right, so that paper is pinned there if you need a good paper. So that's how I do that. So I get 4 of these. So I have 4 paintings that will, when I list these 4 paintings and they sell on eBay, my whole stack of paper will be covered. Like the cost of what I spent for the entire stack will be covered by these 4 paintings. So it's really a good value to invest in good paper. Okay. So again, and you can again see the difference. I mean, just look at the difference in the coloring and the texture too. I mean, you can see the texture of this paper is so much better than the texture of this paper. And it's also, this is much thicker. This is kind of flimsy. So, just so you know, this is a cold press, Jess. It is 100% cotton cold press. It's a 300 GSM. Okay, and it's pinned right there. And also it comes in different sizes. I just like this size because I can get 4 ACEO sizes out of one sheet with no waste. So I'm not stuck with a bunch of little pieces of paper that I can't use once I cut it up. So that's why I like that size. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I hop off here? Thank you so much for your purchases today, guys. Y'all are amazing. I am so grateful. Every time you support my showcase, I do a happy dance every time somebody purchases. Again, this is my income. So if you guys are ever looking for stuff on TikTok that you want to purchase, please go to my showcase and check to see that it's there. If it's there before you purchase it so that you can support that. That's always helpful. Thank you for all the likes and clicking the screen. That also is very helpful without ever having to spend money. You can just tap the screen and that's very helpful. Grabbing your fan club points right here under the heart is also very helpful. That helps to push my content out to the FYP. It also helps your account as well to grow. So if you haven't grabbed your fan club points, click that heart right there beside my name and go ahead and grab those as well before I hop off of here. Otherwise, you guys, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? I'll be on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Jess reached level 2 in my fan club. Good job, Miss Jess. Thank you so much for your support. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hey, Sheena. Welcome in. So glad you joined us. We just finished up. We finished up this little skunk right here. We did him today. So don't forget to, if you've missed any of these tutorials and you're looking to do the tutorials, you can find them on my Tube of You channel. You can click on my TikTok page and get the LINK underneath my BIO. It's right there and it will take you to my Tube of You channel. All right, guys? And you can get the replays for all of these if you missed them. All right? Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.